As a graduate of SER1, you are now qualified to sign up for one of our branch classes, including the Brain Speaks 1. The brain classes use all of the skills that you've learned so far in Cranial 1 through SER, skills of palpation, of listening, of therapeutic neutral, treating energy cysts, working with the significance detector, following the inner treatment plan, etc. But it uses those skills to actually directly treat the brain tissue itself. As craniosacral therapists, of course, we're treating the brain and working with the brain all the time, indirectly. Anytime we're in the cranium or in the dura, in the craniosacral system, we are having an indirect effect on all the tissues and structures of the brain. But we can fine-tune our skills and work even more effectively by working directly with the brain itself. And we learn how to do that in the first cranial brain course. The brain course is an overview of the brain. We work first day with what we call the brain's plumbing, which is the blood supply, the arterial supply to the brain. In the earlier classes in Cranial 1 and Cranial 2, of course, we're working with venous drainage, but now we also work with arterial blood supply to the brain. We also work with the formation and circulation of cerebrospinal fluid on that first day, and also with the newly discovered lymphatic system. We work with that system in detail to help clear waste products out of the brain, and thereby preventing later neurological damage from traumatic brain injuries and so on, also preventing things like Alzheimer's and dementia. From day 1 and to day 2, we start to work with all of the different brain parts. So we take a tour through the brain in embryological developmental order, starting with the brain stem and ending up in the cortex on day 4. Working with all the brain parts, recognizing them, learning about them, studying the anatomy, and getting just enough information so that we can treat the brain very effectively using our craniosacral skills. Just as we work with the vomer in Cranial 2, we know that we can't actually directly touch the vomer, so we use our energetic contacting skills, but we actually work with the vomer even though our contact is an energetic one. And it's very similar working with the brain. We can't directly touch the brain, but we can touch the brain energetically. And once we make that energetic contact with either a brain part or a brain cell or a whole area of the brain, we can begin to actually follow the tissue, treating it with our palpatory skills, looking for energy cysts, using therapeutic imagery and dialogue when necessary. When something doesn't resolve, there's a reason why it's not resolving, and we can actually go in and use our therapeutic imagery and dialogue to interview brain parts and brain cells and so on, accessing the wisdom of that inner wisdom or inner physician so that we can find what are the missing resources necessary to be able to resolve this particular brain lesion. When I was a student, one of the courses that I enjoyed the most was the brain course. I think you're going to have a great time.